Hi everybody, welcome back to Rowan Town. Today we're looking at control panels. This is the control panel that I purchased from Megapoints. It's a really nice panel, but when I looked at them again, I think they got really expensive. I'm not sure if he's still doing these panels, so I decided to try to make my own using the Bambulabs 3D printer with the AMS option. So we're going to have a quick look at what I did. So I spent a long time trying to create this, and I realized that I needed to create lots of separate parts which I could mark as a color inside the Bambulabs software. So I used FreeCAD, which actually is pretty good. I moved from Fusion because it just got really complicated, and I made lots of separate parts. I had to print out the parts in kind of a 3D drawing so I could replicate this multiple times. So effectively I could make like a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. Bits could slot in, like this section here was built because I needed to make it sure it was black, so I had to cut the circles out for the switches and the holes out for the LEDs. I also had to make little separate parts for the LEDs so I could color those with a translucent filament. It all gets exceptionally complicated. So I had the actual holes for the LEDs so they could be a friction fit, and then the little kind of 1mm thick tops for them, so to speak, which would be the lens, the translucent stuff. As I said, this took me a lot of time to do, probably months of playing around in the evenings and getting frustrated and starting again, and some test prints, should I say. And overall, it took a long time to actually get to the point when I was happy. In FreeCAD, you can create colors and you can sort of emulate what the lenses would look like. Made sure that I knew what I was doing. And again, here's a few more screenshots of what I was attempting to do. So this would be the lower half of the control panel as a separate piece. Again, this was designed so I could have a black section which would be cut out of the white overall square. In a moment, we're going to look at the 3D print job from the camera. It's very quick, but what I did realize was that the way that the system runs is it prints, effectively printed black first, which left a little bit of a streaking actually on the panel that you'll see when you see the actual end result. But what I found out later on, after I'd actually wired it all up, so I really couldn't be bothered to do it again, was that you can actually tell the system what color to print first. So if I'd have told it to print the white layer first, then the black, and then the clear, I wouldn't have had any of the issue with the color bleed effectively going between it. I then designed a couple of times a control panel holder. This was quite big. I had to print it in a couple of goes to do and join it together. I needed it to hold my two can pans inside. I wanted to put some ventilation on the side because they do get quite hot. I put a little shelf in there as well to hold the can pan adapters that I use so that I can get the actual plugs in for the LEDs and the buttons. That adapter there you can see is the purple PCB board, which has got the ribbon cable going into it, and then lots and lots of cables coming from LEDs or push buttons. So this is it being tested out of the system. You can see you've got the colors. You can see that the red, green indicators are in there. There's an indicator there for the signal as well. Some of the signals I can't actually see on the layout themselves unless I'm leaning over. Again, that's the control panel breakout board, basically, I guess you can describe it as. If you look carefully there on the top right, you can see what I mean with that little black line going up, sort of like to, I don't know, 10 o'clock. It's just a bit of black filament that came up loose on the end of the nozzle when it did the initial print. This is a close-up of the board. Again, you can see the black mark on there on the bottom track layout. Here it is in a loose form operating the bottom level. I did buy some pre-made red-green LEDs, but some of them didn't work. I ended up taking the ends off and reconnecting them myself, terminating them. Here is the control panel connected up and operational. The actual control panel, the white part of it is just connected to the base part using magnets. It means it's easy to lift up if required to do any maintenance to the cabling inside. It's also connected to the layout itself using 2 big screws with some bolt heads, sort of rounded heads on it, so I can push it in and slide it down to hold it in place. Now here it is in operation. We're just going to depart a train from the up line on the through line, as I call it, and hopefully you should see the blue dot in between the 2 buttons at the top go off and the one on the right go on, and possibly the green signal just to the left of the far right button changes to red. There you go. So it's operating as expected. I think at this point there was a couple of issues with some of the other block detection, but that was all to do with some configuration within what was the FCU and the Merg modules, just to make sure that all the communication was working correctly. If you've made it this far, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and any feedback is great. Thanks very much. See you again soon. Bye for now.